all kinds of garbage about you've got a horrible job turning Democrats into Republicans, and enjoy your kingdom of dirt. And I'm like, and
Sam Seder was a guest on the Vanguard podcast, and they talked about Jimmy Dore and other figures like him starting out as progressive commentators and then making a rightward shift and becoming grifters. We're going to take a look at clips of Sam Seder on the Vanguard podcast, and I will share my thoughts as well. Let's check this out together.
You guys talk a lot about right-wing media, obviously on the Majority Report. And another interesting piece of evidence that I've, it's not a scientific piece of evidence, but it's still something that I've observed, is a weird phenomena in right-wing media where it seems like this depression is setting in like prematurely. And I'm not sure if it has to do with the fact that Trump's not doing as well as they would hope he would be doing. Maybe it has to do with the fact that he's just totally lost any of his populist edge. He doesn't talk about being corruption proof. He doesn't talk about draining the swamp. Like you said, he's out here begging Elon Musk and Miriam Adelson for as much money as possible and, promising to do their bidding in return. So you can't even really pretend that he's going to shake anything up or make America great again. And it really seems like that's been reflected on the right-wing media space. One person specifically that I thought it would be funny to react to a quick clip of is actually Jimmy Dore. Someone who obviously you've been a bit of a nemesis of, Sam. Obviously had that infamous debate where he called into the Majority Report, and I think that your comments have aged pretty well.
Yeah, the moon fell into Lake Michigan.
Yeah, the moon did in fact fall into Lake Michigan.
It did, yeah.
But let's take a look here because he actually recently popped up on Jackson Henkel's new podcast.
Oh, geez.
And he seems a little bit depressed. Here he is at the end of his grift, essentially. He's done exactly what all of his critics predicted that he would do. He's completely sold out to the right. He embarrasses himself on a daily basis. But isn't that supposed to be like, isn't that what he wanted? Isn't that why he did it in the first place, for money and attention from these people? I don't know what happened, but it seems like he lost a step somewhere along the way, and now he sounds a little bit depressed about it. So let's take a quick look. I'm fascinated to get your response to this, Sam, as someone who, like us, has watched Jimmy's trajectory from the very beginning.
I don't have anything. I have, even my old friends in Hollywood, they don't understand what I'm doing. They think I'm a Trumper, and they see things in a binary. They still pat themselves in the back for voting for Kamala Harris. And literally today, I had a friend on Twitter who I've known since I got to Los Angeles, and he said to me all kinds of garbage about you've got a horrible job turning Democrats into Republicans, and enjoy your kingdom of dirt. And I'm like, and
did you guys look up and see who this is?
I mean, they have to.
I'm a fruit basket.
Either way, that's the main part I wanted to get your reaction to. It's kind of sad, right? Like,
I mean,
Jimmy.
Yeah, it is interesting what's going on, particularly with that sort of ilk of people, because in 2020, even to some extent, certainly in 2016, there was this sort of like, they had an audience of people on the left, and there's every reason to be disaffected if you're, somewhere from like center left to left. And particularly if you're younger and you haven't seen, change. You haven't seen it in the movement and see how long sometimes it can take. And he had an audience that he could speak to. And I just we were talking, I didn't really cover it too much on the show, but that Restore the Republic, where Taibbi
Rescue the Republic.
Or Rescue the Republic, yeah. And
we're gonna make America healthy again. That's what we're gonna do there.
Bobby went down there, and I was like, it's amazing. They're not bringing anybody to the party. Like they're they don't have the same audience. Their audience is on the right. They're not like bringing disaffected leftists there. They're just going to sort of like their, right-wing audiences. And it was just fascinating to me, like how much that cohort of people were effective in 2016, let's say, and even in 2020 on some level. And now they just don't resonate. Like things have sorted out in a different way. And I wonder, because I mean, I can see like our views spiked like a hockey stick when Harris became the nominee. And now they've gone back down almost to where, a little bit higher than they were.
And Jimmy Dore has talked about how he's lost viewers, and you kind of have to wonder what his audience actually is, or what Jimmy Dore is trying to make his audience be. Because like Sam Seder is saying, I used to listen to, this is me saying this, but I used to listen to Jimmy Dore years ago, and he was a Bernie supporter, and now he thinks Bernie's a sellout. And, he goes on he used to go on Tucker Carlson's show on Fox News. And, I think the right wing loves this thing of where they have their token liberal, that they can be like, see, they've left the left and they've seen the light and they know that conservatism is the right way and everything. And Jimmy Dore doesn't necessarily seem to be saying that. He's upset that his liberal friends don't like him anymore. And, he used to be on the Young Turks, just like Dave Rubin. And these people like Jimmy Dore are seeing that there are consequences to your actions. You can make this choice to go and hang out with these right-wingers and say that the left sucks and blah, 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 and they're sellouts and all of this, because that's what he's done with Bernie. Bernie's a sellout and AOC's a sellout and all of that in Jimmy Dore's mind. But you can have these opinions and have these views, but people might not like those, and you might lose your friends over them. And that's what it appears that Jimmy Dore is having happen. But you kind of, he's crying now because his numbers are down. Well, he's probably kind of like a man without an island, because he's crapped on all of the lefty people, saying they're sellouts and all of that. And, cut ties with TYT and everything. They have their own issues with Anna Kasparian and all of that. But the right-wingers are never really going to accept them. It's kind of like the token black hosts that they have on Fox News. They're just there to solidify the racism that the white people on Fox News spew out, and for them to say, see, I've got a black friend here and he agrees with me. That, they'll say, the Fox News host will say, the Democrats are the real racists, and the token black person that they have on there will say, yeah, you're right. And that's kind of what Jimmy Dore is. He's their token liberal. But are these right-wing, far-right MAGA supporters? He talks about how he doesn't like Trump. Are the far-right MAGA supporters, are they ever going to subscribe to his show and, give him money and all of that? Probably not. So where does a guy like Jimmy Dore go?
Which was still somewhat elevated, but because it's, presidential election. But so I think like some of the enthusiasm has drained out of this on, the sort of the center to the left. I think people are just like, let's just get this over with, because she's not, generating the same type of enthusiasm. I saw today that like Brian Deese was going to support Lena Khan, and I'm very excited about that. But
me too.
Yes. But the three of us, to be excited about that is to be in the smallest cohort of human beings on the planet. And like, I'm so excited about the FTC chair. And people are just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, I was just going to say, on the right, like, I have a feeling things have cratered for them. And part of it is because they're so sort of like all over the place. But, Tim Pool invited me on his show. I don't know if you knew this. And I'm going to go on it in like 2 weeks or something.
Ooh.
I'm already
Excited?
sort of, no, I'm not excited at all about it. Actually, it's
Are you
huge
going
pain in the
into
ass.
the studio, into his compound or whatever?
I'm going down to Off-Brand Neverland, and I just know I'm, flying out. I realized, like, anyways, he's claiming that he's offended that I said something about him, and it's like,
Oh, I saw that.
where have you been? Where have you been? I've been,
So Sam gets off into his debate with Tim Pool, and I have another video about this specifically. If you want to watch it, it's on my channel. But I think Sam has a point here, because you wonder what happens to these right-wing commentators now that Trump has won. Are people going to tune out? Are the MAGA and right-wing people going to just be like, hey, we won, everything's good now, we don't have to watch your show or listen to your content or whatever? I think with a lot of these shows, it's always better in terms of views to be the resistance. So my channel here, Chris on Culture, is a progressive channel. So, we'll see what happens, but, I'm going to be fighting against MAGA and Trump with my videos here. And hopefully that helps me to build an audience, because people are going to be mad and upset about what Trump is doing every day. But I think about channels like Megyn Kelly's show, how she does videos every single day, sucking up to Trump, kissing up to Trump, and talking about how the left is so terrible and everything, and how they fought against him and called him a fascist and everything. Well, I guess the left is still going to do that. But is she just going to do videos about, well, Trump got this policy through today, Trump got this policy through today? Are viewers going to want to watch that, or are they just going to say, hey, Trump won, everything's good, I don't have to watch your content, Megyn Kelly or Tim Pool? And like I say, somebody like Jimmy Dore, who he's bashing Trump, he's sucking up to the right wingers, but is his audience, are the right wingers' audiences going to go to Jimmy Dore when he's talking about how we need Medicare for all and stuff like that? And the left-wing audience already looks at Jimmy Dore as a sellout. So he's lost those people too. So where does he go? That's not a question for me to answer, but let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think that Jimmy Dore will have an audience now? Will he just go to being part of the resistance now that Trump has been elected? Or do you even care about Jimmy Dore? I don't care what happens to Jimmy Dore myself personally, but I do care what happens to my own channel. So if you'd like to comment about Sam Seder's thoughts on Jimmy Dore, or the Vanguard's thoughts, or my thoughts, please do so. Make sure to give me a like and subscribe also, so I can continue growing the channel if that's something that you like. If you don't like that, watch somebody else's channel. But if you want to see me make more content like this, make sure to subscribe. This is Chris on Culture, and I will see you in the next video.